And just to kind of, preface this, so the comment that we got on I want to say it was our last video, I made a comment or something where I didn't think that the consoles were going to be here forever. I thought that Xbox and PlayStation, I believe they're all going to roll back on their production of consoles and maybe even just go to handhelds. We have an article here that says, Xbox ports no longer worth it without Game Pass deal, says devs, which kind of supports the idea that, Game Pass is cannibalizing physical sales for Xbox. So let's get into that really quick and then we'll discuss. Oh, whoopsies. Here we go. Now we're good. All right. And this is by Tech4 Gamers. This is pinned by Avinash Jaisrani. If I butchered that, I do apologize. Seemed like a good guy. It's a really good article. Xbox has been fighting an uphill battle for over 10 years, with PlayStation's lead growing bigger with each passing year. The platform is still doing well in terms of revenue, but hardware and install base growth is limited when considering consoles alone. This has also made Xbox less priority for many developers, particularly when it comes to teams with fewer resources. According to a report, many developers believe the platform is not worth an investment without a Game Pass deal. So that's red blaring line or flashing signs that console isn't as big as Game Pass, right? Or am I just misreading that totally? What do you guys think about that?
Just having a read.
Well, I don't know if it's in that article, but I read something related to this, and part of the difficulty with this is that you're not just developing for one Xbox platform.
That too, yeah.
You're developing for Xbox X, Series S, Windows as well. Anything that you can use a Game Pass, that you use Game Pass on.
Yeah.
So, and people aren't actually buying the product. From what I understand, I don't know if it's like a Dragon's Den kind of deal where a developer will approach Microsoft as a publisher, and Microsoft will say, okay, well, we think your game we're going to give you this much money to offset the physical sales or the actual like sales of your game, so we can have it on Game Pass, because it's all behind closed doors. We don't see it, right? I think there was some information leaked a while ago that says it's either percentage based or it's like a lump sum.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, and I don't know how the negotiation behind closed doors works, but it's probably I would imagine it goes something like Microsoft says, well, okay, we think that your game would sell this much if you were not on Game Pass, so we'll give you this much to host it on Game Pass. But then there's also the added difficulty for indies as well, especially because, again, you're developing for Series S, Series X, Windows, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I could see why it wouldn't necessarily be that much of a priority, where you can go to just develop for PlayStation and it's just PlayStation 5.
Right.
Well, unless you're developing for PlayStation 4 as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot simpler to go that route. There's less work. You have if you have limited amount of resources, it just makes sense.
Yeah. And then, I mean, not to mention, like, if a game is like, let's say they put out a game that's on physical, as soon as it goes to Game Pass, the sales drop for the physical. That's 100% true. We know that. So I guess my question would be, with Game Pass around, with them continuing to lower the bar for entry for gamers, like the deal that they just had done with Amazon for the Fire Stick, I think is totally awesome. It's like the barrier to entry is like $60-$70, which is nuts, So my opinion is, I think we'll see consoles kind of slowly disappear and maybe be replaced with handhelds, maybe. But what do you guys think about that?
It's a tough one. I certainly see your point, though. Physical copies are starting to die out slowly because obviously you can buy games in stores. You got keys you can purchase online now as well.
Yeah.
But I can understand the argument. Shout out to Gigi.
Yes.
She likes physical copies.
Yes.
And I concur with that because it's a physical copy. It's yours. Or is it? Shout out to Nas. Is it yours? The release on it.
True.
But I can see your point, Fox. I'm trying to picture playing a game without a console. What would I play it on? Just on the TV and the pad? Is that how it works? Because then you need to stream it because then... I'm trying to think how it works. So I'm just trying to picture it. So let's say like Amazon and Xbox have done a deal. To play a game, I need to log on through my TV to Amazon, select the game I want, and then play the game. Is that... So that means it's not being run off the console. It's streamed, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been using Xbox's stream beta recently, and it's not up to standard yet. It's still called a beta.
Yeah.
So it's not quite there. So I think they need to perfect that first before they start. Well, if they do get rid of consoles, and they start doing that.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
I definitely see your argument though. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All of the graphical rendering and processing would have to be done on Microsoft's end because the Fire Stick, I mean, I have one. They're not... the specs on them have got to be extremely limited, especially for being $60 or so. You're not going to be able to run anything off of that, right? Maybe some very limited, very, very limited games. But we talked about this last week. The amount of bandwidth that's used, who knows?
Yeah.
Especially if you're in an area where you don't have a good internet connection.
Yeah.
How well are you going to be able to use it?
Very true.
Can you wire the stick or your TV into your router? Not really. Are there TVs that you can directly, so it would be off Wi-Fi, which is iffy. I'm thinking back to when they released Kingdom Hearts, the whole series for like the Switch on the cloud play.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, it's impossible to play.
Right.
And that's a game from 2002.
Yeah.
So
not a lot of working parts for those back in the day.
I wouldn't be surprised if TVs have an Ethernet connection.
Oh,
you know what? I'm going to go have a look. Be right back.
My TV is 14 years old, so mine doesn't.
Right on.
My TV's on Wi-Fi. I never thought about putting an Ethernet cable in.
I know, right?
Did you directly connect your... Oh, yeah, I guess to it. Smart. I don't have a smart TV. I guess smart TVs, you have to be able to use... Maybe they do have a plug-in.
Maybe.
Because then that would make it a little better if you could plug in your new system, which is your television. Your television is the system now.
I'm going to check.
Everyone go check. Audience, go over, check your TVs. We're giving you 45 seconds.
It's nice.
Oh, nice. What?
Yeah, but
I just checked mine.
It does.
I've never used
That's dope. Right on.
I just checked mine, and mine has a LAN connection as well.
Yeah, LAN. Yeah. But I never use it.
Yeah.
It's always wireless.
So you could hardwire your TV a little better, officially a little better.
Yeah.
Still not loving it. But...
Yeah. I mean, that's the connection between your TV and your router, but between like the type of internet connection you have and how many megabits per second your upload and download is, that's really where your limit's going to be.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think you guys mentioned very nice.
That is a good point. I mean, especially with this, there's more troubleshooting steps involved when you add more hops, right? There's the between your own device that you're playing off of and the connection to that router, and then between your router and your ISP, and it's if you have a crap internet connection, I can't really see this working for you that well.
Right on. So the consoles will stick around for that.
But I don't know. You just never know, right?
Yes.
Like Azure and AWS have to get to work basically because it's all going to be on their servers, isn't it? So
right on.
Start laying fiber everywhere.
Yeah. Right on. So I mean, I don't know. I think we'll see it before I freaking drop dead. That's in the next like 30-40 years. So they got a while to work on it.
Bloody hell, Fox.
Yeah, no. Sorry. It's all right. Nobody makes it out alive. Time stands undefeated in that
Time
sense.
is undefeated. Yep.
Yeah. But I think we will see the slow pullback of consoles in favor of a subscription service based deal, and I think Xbox set themselves up to be the #1 subscription service whenever it goes that way, because I mean if we look at, Blockbuster or something like that, the reason why they failed so spectacularly is because they failed to adapt to a Netflix type model,
Yep. Well, they didn't buy Netflix when they could. That's why they failed.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's factual.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yes.
Wow.
They didn't see
Yeah,
any profit in it, or they didn't see it as a good idea.
They didn't believe.
They
didn't believe
in
the process.
No.
Wow.
And it bit them in the back.
It's so funny. They didn't see the profit, but they also didn't see the existential threat that Netflix posed to them.
Right.
They're the top streaming service in the world. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And now, and with how that's working out, like the Hulus, the Disney Pluses, the Paramount Pluses, like as far as I know, they're either stagnant or losing subscribers. Netflix is the only one that's at a place where if you're like, yeah, I'm tired of Netflix, unsubscribe, they're like, go, man, we've got like 10 more to take your place. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, we can put whatever we want on here, you'll be back.
We don't need y'all.
Yeah. So Netflix, and I think that the gaming industry is going to follow suit with that. And I could be wrong. Could be 100% wrong. Consoles could stick, because I want to say like console sales are down across the industry. PlayStation's down, Xbox is down. Nintendo Switch is such an outlier. I think they have like 140 million Switches out there. It's freaking nuts. But it's also handheld. It's portable. Mm-hmm. You could take it with you everywhere or play it at home. I don't know if we even should include Nintendo in that, because they got their own thing going on. They're just sitting in the pocket, like twiddling their thumbs and just making money.
Yeah.
And freaking bomb.
And they've been doing it for years, decades.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The price points for those consoles are different as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I had to save 2 years to buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Like it's brutal.
Yeah.
And I think the Switch, especially the Switch 2, I think is going to be more around where the other consoles are. Mm-hmm. But at least upon release, the first Switch, it was just like buying pancakes. Like everyone was just grabbing them, because it was like a normal price point.
Yeah, right. What we're used to seeing instead of, the PlayStation 3 was like $600 though.
Oh,
you remember
ridiculous.
That? That was back when they were really smelling themselves. They were like, PlayStation 2, 150 million units sold, whatever, put it $600, whatever, the plebs will buy it. And we were like, F you, Sony. No.
You got to test the market, but you never know, people might buy it.
That's true.
You never know.
They found out the hard way.
Yeah.